Hey everybody, meteorologist Sarah Gannon here on a First Alert Saturday. Happy weekend everybody. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy kind of this long holiday weekend, and now that we are kind of in the midst of this First Alert Day here on our Saturday, hopefully you are able to kind of hunker down a little bit and try and avoid being on the roads here with this snowfall. So as we have our First Alert Day here, kind of taking a little bit more of a deep dive into kind of what we're looking at. I'll give you guys an update on snow totals and kind of what we continue to expect to see those snow amounts to kind of get to here as we move throughout the rest of today. So we'll kind of take a look at all those details. And if you happen to be watching on Facebook, feel free to drop any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that into the comment section. And hey, we will happily take a snowfall amounts here throughout today. So if you want to drop any pictures of those snow totals or let us know how much you have at your location here. That'd be very helpful for the weather department. I do have kind of a mid-morning update on those totals, but I know as we move throughout the afternoon and especially by the evening hours, we will absolutely be welcoming more updated snowfall amounts. So, and if you guys want to let us know what those totals are here throughout today, definitely. We would love those constant updates from around the area. So here on this First Alert Day, we, again, tracking our latest winter storm system. I want to start out first with a look at those road conditions. I don't think they're going to want to cooperate with me here, so I might have to toggle a little bit for it to load. It will load eventually. It just kind of takes a minute sometimes. So while we kind of wait for that here, just for a second, hopefully it populates here soon. I promise it works. It just is finicky sometimes. In the meantime, here's kind of a glance at some of those current road conditions. The main thing here that we've been seeing so far this morning has been a lot of partially to completely covered roadways in the area, some slush on the roads. Fortunately, I haven't seen too many accidents reported on 511 this morning, which is good news. There have been a few. So hopefully, with it being a Saturday, a weekend, a better likelihood of you guys kind of staying home, trying to stay off those roads. Here we have a look at those road conditions in the area. Notice all of the blues, all of the pinks. Blue is partially covered roadways. Pink is completely covered roadways. So again, the snow on the roads, some slush on the roads. Again, just a few accidents from what I've seen, but that's just only the short time, the time that I've been in the station here, kind of keeping an eye on those road conditions. So I like seeing those fewer crash reports on there, so good job everybody for sticking home and trying not to venture out. So thankfully it's a Saturday. Hopefully you don't have any major travel plans or are able to push those off until tomorrow. So that's kind of a quick glance at road conditions. Minnesota 511, Iowa 511 is a great spot to check out those road conditions, kind of take a look at plow cameras and just kind of monitor those road conditions throughout the area. And we'll take a look at some of our road cameras here in the area. We're starting off here with a look at I-35. So this is going to be Faribault, Owatonna, Medford area, even Ellendale, so a little bit closer to the Minnesota-Iowa border. Definitely that snow is sticking. That snow is sticking around, noting that reduced visibility in the area. Some roads, from what I've been seeing, you can at least see a lane. So plow drivers hard at work to make sure that those roads continue to stay monitored and plowed. And big thank you to all of our plow drivers here who are hard at work on a holiday weekend to make sure that you and I are able to stay safe and if we do have to venture out on those roads. So I like that we can at least see a lane of travel. Definitely seeing that cars are kind of moving a little bit slower here, so good thing to note there. But definitely some slushiness in some of those roads as well. So I'm sure there's slick spots on overpasses, bridges, intersections on ramps, exit ramps, that sort of a thing. This is a look at Highway 14 here. So a couple spots in the Rochester area, another spot out towards Owatonna, closer to the Highway 14 I-35 interchange. So again, noting, especially as we look towards 60th Avenue, I think that's closer to Byron, just outside of Rochester towards Byron. You can see that the snow is on the road. You can see that there's kind of those tire tracks is what we've been seeing. But again, some slushiness, some slick spots are possible here on the roads. We'll take a look at Highway 52 now. And again, you can see Highway 52 from 65th Street. So that's from our tower cam. And again, you can just kind of see how that visibility is reduced due to the falling snow. And I do think that road conditions will continue to worsen as the day goes on, and especially later on tonight, we'll start to see winds increasing. And so that could cause some blowing snow possible in the area, especially outside of city limits. So if you're staying in town, maybe running to the grocery store or running over to your neighbor's, grandma's house, something like that, I think aside from just kind of the trouble spots that you'll have at those intersections, maybe neighborhood roads that haven't gotten plowed yet, everything in town should be relatively manageable. It'll be outside of city limits where we see more of those major issues, more of those bigger concerns in terms of visibility and potential for blowing snow later today, but then also just being more open. So those will kind of be those travel concerns that we have here throughout today. But you can even see there Highway 52 at Civic Center, Civic Center Drive. You can see kind of how 52, you can see more of that road, but notice how you just kind of have those tire tracks taking that exit ramp from 52 to go onto Civic Center. So again, if you do need to venture out today, please use extra caution. It will be slick, it will be snowy. The winds will start to pick up later today, so quite a few concerns when it comes to traveling throughout today. Now the main event, we'll talk here about future track radar. Certainly a lot of lighter blues, but we're starting to see more of those darker blues kind of popping in here now as we move into late morning. So we'll be getting more of those moderate bands of snowfall pulling in, probably even some pockets of heavy snowfall. I still think that a lot of that heavier snowfall will stay just south of our area, maybe getting into that Highway 18 corridor. But we're not completely out of the realm of possibility in terms of seeing pockets of heavy snow throughout the day. So we'll kind of zoom out here. You can especially see down towards the I-80 corridor, so between Omaha, Des Moines, Davenport, you can see where some of those darkest blues are. That's where we're seeing more of that heavy snowfall in the region. So one thing of note from National Weather Service here is with the afternoon, evening hours, this is where we'll have that better potential to see maybe some snowfall rates of 1/2 inch to 1 inch per hour. So this is, again, that will be during those pockets of that heavy snow that we see moving through the region. So we've got a while that we'll be seeing that snowfall in the area here tonight, through this afternoon into tonight. But I wanted to also show you guys just how big this system is. So a good chunk of the upper Midwest heading into the Great Lakes region is seeing snowfall. South there towards like Kansas City, St. Louis, and south of that seeing showers and storms moving through kind of the southern half. So it's a big system. It's a strong system. So another reason why we're seeing kind of our first major winter snowstorm of the season. One thing of note here, as I'm going to zoom in a little bit here from on our surface map, but as you can see off to the west, so the plains, and so into the Dakotas, back towards Montana area, into southern Canada there, high pressure building. So we'll have kind of an upper, or we'll have kind of like a Canadian high pressure system, Arctic blast on the way here on the back side of the system. So cooler air going to be funneled into the region as we move into Sunday and into early next week. So a bit of a break from the 20s. We'll look to see more teens for those high temperatures here in the coming week. But at this current moment, of course, main focus is on that snow, but something to be aware of here as we head into the second half of the weekend and into early next week. We'll really have to bundle up a bit more as temperatures take a bit more of a tumble. So I'm going to check the comments here quick. Luther, thank you for the snow report. 2 inches of snow east of Wayland on the ridge. So I'm going to guess Winona County area. That's my guess. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. Justin's wondering about snow so far. And Justin, you're right. One thing I probably should have stressed maybe a little bit more last night on our stream was when it comes to totals, and I think I mentioned it, but probably could have added a little bit more emphasis on it. But obviously waking up here this morning, not much for snow, and we'll take a look here at snow totals. I've got all that prepared for you guys. So this is a look at 9 a.m. So as of 9 a.m., getting these reports from National Weather Service and here at the KTDC studio, 1.5 inches of snow so far at here at KTDC. And I just measured probably about 10-15 minutes ago, just before I hopped on the stream here. We're up to about 2 inches now at the station. So as of kind of early morning, waking up, there isn't a lot of snow on the ground. We will pick up the bulk of our snow totals today. So through this afternoon into this evening, that's when we'll pick up the bulk of our snow. So that's when we're going to be seeing more of those higher snowfall rates, those bursts of heavy snow at times. So we're not done. We still have quite a bit of ways left to go here on this system. We really won't be seeing the snow wrapping up until about midnight, 2 a.m. And again, that winter storm warning goes until 6 a.m. So yeah, I know a lot of folks are like, well, where's the snow? It hasn't fallen yet. It's coming, don't worry. So again, a look at some of those snowfall reports in the area. Northern Iowa kind of seeing some of those higher amounts so far as of when I compiled this list. But New Hampton, Iowa, so that's in... that is in Chickasaw County in North Iowa. So 4 inches there. Charles City at 3.3 inches of snow. A couple more that I jotted down. I did see that Buffalo Center. So I believe that's out towards Kossuth County. I can't remember if it is into Kossuth County or if Buffalo Center is in... now I got to remember all my counties. It's not Winnebago. It's somewhere between Kossuth County and the I-35 corridor. I know that much. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't think of it. Buffalo Center, Iowa, 6 inches is what they've reported so far this morning. So that would be in line with what we were kind of expecting in terms of final totals. So they could also be looking at probably another 6-ish inches of snow, potentially up to when all is said and done. But other spots here, Austin, St. Ansgar, Iowa, about 2.8, Cresco, Wyckoff, Mabel, Preston, the Rochester Airport, Spring Valley, roughly about 2 inches when I compiled this list, and National Weather Service kind of did a push on what some of their local reports were so far. Hayfield 1.8, and again I just updated you guys on KTDC. So here at the station we're up in northwest Rochester, we're up to about 2 inches now. Manorville just over 1 inch, and about 1 inch in Winona. So but a couple others that I found. Harmony, we did receive a report this morning of about 1.3, so probably about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit higher now. Clarks Grove, Albert Lee, so Freeborn County area, about 3 inches right now. And Owatonna, Faribault area, so Steele, Rice County, about 2 inches right now. So that's what I've got so far for snowfall reports. So if you guys have more totals, again, throw them into the stream here, put them in the comment section, or you can also send it to weather@kttc.com. You can email us. I've also got a post right now on our social sites with a kind of a measure of what we had so far this morning at the station. So you can also drop it in the comments over there. And if you want to and feel obligated and would like to be a part of a wonderful community, you can join our KTTC Weather Photo Community Group on Facebook. When it comes to winter storms, it's a great spot to just kind of share what conditions look like outside, a great spot to share snow totals and keep us updated throughout the day or throughout a winter storm. So like what I did is I took the ruler outside on the weather patio, stuck it in a part of the snow on a spot that we know gets that doesn't see a lot of blowing and is a level flat surface, and was able to just kind of measure and snapped a quick picture on my phone, and there you can kind of see the ruler into the snow, and nice. It looks nice. So that's a great thing that you can do too. You can share those photos there, or you can even just say, hey, we have such and such an amount in Preston. We have such an amount in Rochester out by Costco, or let us know kind of like what time you took it at, and what those measurements are. That will definitely help us here in the Weather Center. And on weekends, we don't always get the most up to date. It takes a little bit of time to get updated snowfall amounts. So we rely heavily on you guys as viewers to let us know how much snow has fallen, what you guys are seeing, kind of get that boots on the ground confirmation of what's going on, and then we can take that and let the National Weather Service know so they can continue to push out updated information to the public, but also to us, the media, so we can share that with you guys. So we all work together when it comes to big systems like this. So feel free to join our photo community group. I will keep an eye on that here today, and I will happily let you guys in if you haven't joined already. And hey, maybe if you're out of town, if you're somewhere nice and warm, avoiding the snowstorm for the holidays here this weekend, you can also hop on, log on, and join the photo community group, because then you can keep an eye on what's happening at home while you're enjoying the sun and the warmth. So definitely do that if you're able to. But we'll go over our winter storm warning. So this is for all counties highlighted in pink. This is all of southeast Minnesota, all of northeast Iowa. This is the southern half of Minnesota. This is pretty much the entire state of Iowa at this point in time. Locally for us here, the KTTC viewing area, the winter storm warning will be in effect until 6 a.m. Sunday. So this is we are kind of in the middle of this here with that snow. But what I will do is I'll zoom out here so you can just kind of see how impactful this storm is across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes region. Aside from a couple counties in far southwest Iowa, pretty much the entire state of Iowa is under a winter storm warning. Northern half of Illinois, northern part of Indiana. This does stretch into portions of Ohio. The entire state of Michigan has some sort of a winter weather alert, just like Iowa. And then southern half of Wisconsin also in a winter storm warning. So there's also weather alerts back towards Nebraska, South Dakota here at this point in time. So this is a very extensive, impactful system here to the region. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Becky, for correcting me. I couldn't remember where Wayland was. The Ridge, it confused me. I thought that was Winona County. So Wayland is in Fillmore County. So Wayland area, around Fountain region. So both spots, Wayland, Fountain area, about 2 inches. Joe is reporting 2 inches so far in Chatfield. I'm going to jot those down here. I have a little extra room on my Post-it notes so I can update totals. 2 in Chatfield, 2 in Wayland, and Fountain. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate the updated totals. Alrighty. So now that we're done here with kind of going over those winter alerts, I'm going to run through future track with you. So a couple things we're going to watch here for this afternoon, this evening, those pockets of heavy snowfall that we could be looking at. But also of note, I want you guys to watch that top corner too. And I'll play through this a couple times so you can watch through everything. But we're also going to be seeing wind strengthening. So we'll be looking at some gustier winds here for late afternoon, more so the evening hours. And that will extend into early first part of Sunday. So stronger winds will then kicking around some of that snow, blowing it out of the ditches. Could be looking at some blowing snow in the area, so that will also make for some difficult travel in the area. So we'll play through future track here, and we'll kind of watch through as the snow continues to stay more moderate, some pockets of heavy snowfall possible throughout the afternoon hours. This will extend into the early evening. So by about 7 o'clock, we're still kind of in the midst here of this storm system, looking at about some moderate snowfall moving through the region. The good news is after dinner time, snow will gradually start to kind of lighten up a bit more. I think by about midnight, we're pretty much just at some light snow, some flurries, and then we'll pretty much be seeing the system out of our area by about 2 a.m., so early Sunday. And then heading into Sunday morning, there's 7 a.m., there may still be some lingering flurries, some light snow showers towards the Mississippi Riverside. I think has the better chance of maybe some lingering snow showers, but some flurries are possible in the area for the morning hours, so something to be mindful of. I know roads will take a little bit to kind of get back to normal winter driving conditions, so if you are heading out bright and early tomorrow morning, just use some caution. As we move throughout the day on Sunday, the good news is we get a little sunshine back in the area. We may see some clouds throughout the day as well, but at least partly sunny skies, partly cloudy skies are expected. So that'll be some good news there. And I think by later in the day, Sunday, winds will start to die down as well. And I'll go through those wind gusts too, so we can kind of talk about winds separately. In terms of what we can continue to expect for snow totals, kind of running through some of the models, here's what I think we still have the potential to see on top of what we've already seen so far. So this will kind of run us through the rest of this afternoon into tonight and wrapping up any extra snow showers that we may see early Sunday. So I think when all is said and done, on top of what we've already received, I think the Rochester area could maybe be looking at another 3-4 inches of snow, maybe 5 on the high side. Again, that would kind of account for if we do get a burst of some heavy snow. I think out towards Winona, Preston, La Crosse area, I think maybe could see another 3 to 7 inches. Similar story for the Owatonna area, Albert Lee, Austin, maybe another 3 to 5, 3 to 6 there. I do think a lot of North Iowa still has the potential to see maybe another 4 to 7 inches, depending on how much that they have received so far. So, and again, those bursts of heavy snowfall will play a big role on how much extra snow we can receive. But I do think totals get less as we head to the north again, still on track comparing to what we had in the last couple of days. Twin Cities area could be looking at another 1 to 3 inches. Red Wing area, Goodhue County, maybe another 2 to 4 inches possible. And again, kind of accounting lower end to higher end for potential totals. Impacts, travel impacts. Travel will be difficult here all through the rest of today, heading into tonight, and I think we will start to see some improvement later Sunday once that snow is done and plows have had more time to do more work there on those roads. So still expecting to see some high impacts in terms of travel through the rest of today, so through this afternoon and this evening. Also, one of those concerns as we head towards the late night and into early Sunday is going to be the potential for some blowing snow. So blowing snow may be possible, especially in the open highways, freeways, rural areas. Blowing snow not really expected to be a concern if you're in town, if you're staying within city limits, I think the blowing snow potential, probably not really there. Maybe if there are some areas that maybe are more prone. I know there's a couple spots. I mean, just around the TV station here, 65th Street, there's kind of a chunk of road that one side has housing and the other side is still a field. So that area on 65th there can see some blowing. But if you're downtown Rochester, probably not going to see much for blowing snow. So it just depends on where you are and where you're heading to, kind of where you're traveling to will be those biggest factors in if you will or will not see blowing snow. So again, if you are trying to quick run to the gas station, if you're running across town to get some, if you're grabbing some groceries, running across town to see grandma, something like that. If you're staying in town, I don't think blowing snow will be a concern. I think aside from, maybe some snow-covered roads, some slick spots there on intersections, entrance, exit ramps, things like that. I think travel in town should be relatively manageable, but it's going to be when you get out onto the highways, on the freeways, out on the rural county roads, where we have more openness for that blowing potential, greater chance for reduced visibility in the area. But as we kind of just saw here at the beginning of the stream, looking at some of those live cameras in the area, again, plow drivers have been doing awesome so far. I like that we can still see the pavement. That makes me feel really good as a driver myself. But as we see more of that snow intensity kind of picking up here, it may get to a point where they're not able to keep it up, and it happens. They will catch up. They'll get everything taken care of. So, of course, just want to give them a quick shout out and just say thank you for their hard work. So that's kind of a look at what we can expect in terms of travel conditions. I do think things will improve once the snow stops. There will still obviously be some concerns overnight due to that blowing snow potential, again, outside of town. But I do think heading into kind of the late morning, especially into the afternoon on Sunday, I think travel should be still, obviously, maybe a couple trouble spots, maybe still a little difficulty in those neighborhood roads. But I think probably those major roads looking to get to see more minor impacts. So travel expected to improve throughout the day on Sunday. So some good news if you do need to travel back from someplace due to the holiday here this weekend. So we'll kind of dive into upcoming wind gusts. As I mentioned, wind should be pretty manageable throughout most of today. It'll be later this evening that we start to see those wind gusts strengthening more here for the area. So taking a look at wind gusts, we'll start to see by about probably 9-10 o'clock tonight, starting to see some of those winds kind of bumping up into those upper 20s, maybe getting near that 30-mile-per-hour mark by about 9-10 o'clock here tonight. I do think the strongest of those winds will move through overnight. So as the snow tapers off and ends, I think overnight could see some troubles, especially when it comes to blowing snow outside of town. Future wind gusts potentially upwards of 30, maybe even 35 miles per hour across northern Iowa. So we may see even some possible whiteout conditions, maybe. I'm using that term a little loosely. I don't think we'll get to that blizzard criteria or anything like that. But overnight, seeing that snow falling, it is kind of a lighter, fluffier snow, at least from what I've seen here at the station. So that tends to blow around quite a bit. And if you're outside of city limits, especially in North Iowa, and we have these gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour, we're going to be looking at very poor visibility, very low visibility. It'll be difficult, I think, for those plows to keep up just with the blowing and maybe some drifting possible as well in those open areas. So it's a concern to be had if you do need to do any overnight traveling. So I would say if you're able to hold off until Sunday morning, later in the morning into the afternoon, I think that's going to be the best case scenario in terms of travel. So looking ahead to Sunday midday, we'll start to see those winds dying down. seeing gusts upwards of about 20, 25 miles per hour. Still blustery, but a little bit better than 35 miles per hour that we could be looking at overnight. So I do think early initial Sunday morning travel may still be on the slower side, may still be a little bit difficult as plows continue to work through kind of cleaning up more of those roads from any blowing that we may have overnight. And then by the end of Sunday, we're pretty much done for with the winds. Sunday heading into Monday, so I think early part of the work week should be back close to normal winter driving conditions to kick off the start of the week. Just checking comments. Jesse was wondering what will the totals be in Rochester. Jesse, we just kind of went over some additional snowfall amounts that we could be looking at. I think Rochester could see probably an additional 3 to 5 here this afternoon. As a whole, I think Rochester could be looking at, we were kind of tossing around about 4 to 8, 5 to 9. So probably about 5 to 9 for snowfall amounts when all is said and done here by the end of tonight into tomorrow morning. Travis is wondering about wind directions with these gusts. We'll have winds coming out of the northwest, so we'll have some cold winds coming our way as the low continues to push east and we start to bring in that Arctic high pressure. So winds will be on the colder side. They'll be out of the northwest, and again, we could be looking at gusts anywhere from 20 to 35 miles per hour, kind of given that span of probably late this afternoon through midday Sunday. All right. For anyone new that's joining, I'll kind of start back over again. We'll kind of run through everything, I think, one more time. And then I will probably hop off for a little bit here. Let's take a look at future track radar again. I think we're starting to see some of those pockets of maybe some heavier snow starting to move into the area. I'm going to pause it here. So this is now radar. Notice kind of those darker blues there, kind of getting into Faribault and Blue Earth County. So just south of Mankato, north of Buffalo Center, this is where we're starting to see some of those pockets of kind of that heavier snowfall starting to sneak in. So moderate to heavy snowfall will start here this afternoon, and that will continue into those early evening hours before we start to see that snowfall kind of wrapping up and dying down. Rochester area, we're still kind of looking at some lighter, maybe some moderate snow in the Rochester area. I'll take a, let's see here. I'll take kind of a closer view here of Olmsted County. So Olmsted County, we're still kind of just looking at some light, maybe moderate snowfall here at this point in time. So you can see towards Stewartville, Chatfield, Plainview, Viola, looking closer to some more moderate snowfall potential. I think the city of Rochester as a whole, so Rochester proper, I think a lot of us may be looking at more lighter snowfall, but I do think areas probably east of Highway 63 maybe picking up in that intensity a little bit. We'll zoom out a little bit here because I think I noticed, there it is, a little bit more of a pocket of some heavier snowfall closer to the Mississippi River. So this will be, so we have Caledonia there, Mabel, Eitzen. So this would be kind of around kind of the Fillmore County, Houston County, Winnebago County, kind of the T there between the 3 counties, but then also between Alameda and Winnebago counties there in North Iowa. So looking at, again, kind of noting more of those darker blues, you can see where some of that heavier snowfall is falling, kind of seeing more of an intense pocket there. I want to zoom in a little bit further, see if there's any closer towns. We'll get us back to the home view here. So definitely a lot more moderate snowfall. Noting one thing I've noticed here, just kind of looking at this scan from radar compared to earlier in the stream here, I think we're definitely starting to kind of pick up more of that intensity, that snowfall intensity. So we're starting to see more of those darker blues, more of those, a couple of pockets of some heavier snow starting to roll in, starting to roll in. So we'll take a look at road conditions again. We'll see if it'll cooperate with me. No, only part of it. Kind of toggle here a little bit. Okay, we'll take a look at those road conditions. A view here from I-35. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I can see at all. I like that there's at least a lane of travel. That there's at least been a pass from a plow. It looks like parts of I-35 here, maybe both lanes are visible. Definitely some slushy spots for sure. We'll see if there we go. Road map is cooperating again. A lot of blues, a lot of pinks, and I think we'll start to see more pinks across the map here as that snowfall intensity strengthens and we continue to see that snow here throughout the rest of today. So I do think the second half of today, road conditions probably a little bit tougher than what they currently are. Again, as we get maybe a burst of heavy snow rolling through as those snow totals begin to accumulate. So I think much of Iowa certainly will have those completely covered roadways, and then I think we'll kind of see it spread a little bit further into southeast Minnesota. So look at Highway 14 here. You can see throughout a couple spots in the Rochester area, and the Owatonna view is, I believe, the I-35 and Highway 14 interchange. And then 60th Avenue Northwest Rochester. I think that's 14 heading out towards Byron. That's what I think that spot is, if I recall correctly. So again, really nice that we can at least see a lane of travel. I think that definitely makes things a little bit easier if you do have to venture out, but I don't think it'll stay like this all day long. View here of Highway 52. And I'll see if I have any other camera spots too. Of note, you can see that poor visibility from our camera here, our Signal Hill cam. So that would be Highway 52 and 65th Street. That would be our tower cam. So right here from the station overlooking Highway 52. You can see how tough that visibility is. And I'm going to take let's see if I can find it here. I'll do kind of a broader look. Okay, so here is visibility across southern Minnesota, northern Iowa here. We're at about a mile right now for visibility in Rochester. About 3/4 of a mile for Mason City. Algona is about half a mile, same for St. James, Redwood Falls. Mankato about 3/4 of a mile for visibility, same for Red Wing. So certainly where we're starting to see maybe more of those heavier pockets of snow starting to line up, because we just talked about that swath there, that pocket of heavy snow out just west of I-35, so just around the Mankato area, north of the Buffalo Center area, that reducing some visibility in the area. So another concern that we have when it comes to travel here for the region. Charles City, Austin, Decorah, about a mile and a quarter to a mile and 3/4. Owatonna, Albert Lee, Winona, not as bad. Still poor visibility, but not nearly as bad as what some of the surrounding towns are. They're at about 2 to 3 miles for visibility right now. All right. Can run through Future Track one more time too. Okay, we'll take another look here through Future Track. Again, I think the big takeaway here for today when it comes to snow is we'll see those heavier pockets of snowfall starting to mix in here for this afternoon into the early evening hours before we kind of wrap up with everything later tonight. So again, kind of those darker blues, keep an eye on those. That's that heaviest snow. So we'll see pretty much moderate to heavy snow possible here throughout the rest of the afternoon into the early evening. After about 8, 9 o'clock, we'll start to see that snowfall kind of gradually lightening up a little bit. Certainly more noticeable after about 10 o'clock or so. And we'll kind of see things start to fizzle out. So I think by about 1, 2, 3 a.m., I think we're pretty much done for when it comes to snow. We may still see some lingering flurries, some snow showers out towards the Mississippi Riverside. I think other spots may be seeing flurries possible into early Sunday morning. But snow as a whole, pretty much done for after about 1, 2, 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, outside of a couple flurries possible. In terms of wind speed, again, I'll kind of play through this again so you can just kind of keep an eye on those wind gusts. So as we head here into the afternoon, early evening hours, we could be looking at gusts of about 20, 25 miles per hour. Heading into the overnight, when we start to see those winds really strengthen up a bit more. We went through those wind gusts earlier here, and I can show you those again. And this would kind of look more at the Rochester area, I believe, but just kind of as a whole, winds upwards of about 30 miles per hour heading into late Saturday night, so early Sunday morning, about 2 a.m. there, we'll start to see those winds strengthening. So we could be looking at 30, 35 mile per hour gusts overnight into early Sunday morning. So again, blowing snow would be a concern, especially outside of town in those rural open areas, so highways, interstates, things like that. But the good news is winds kind of dying down as we lose that snow and as we head into Sunday afternoon. So probably better representation of what wind speeds will kind of look like going over wind gusts here. Saturday afternoon here, so we'll see winds kind of holding pretty steady here the next few hours, roughly about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So manageable in terms of gusts, I think, but with how light and fluffy that snow is, as we start to see 10, 11 o'clock tonight, those winds strengthening more, overnight, we could be looking at 30 to even 35 mile per hour gusts possible across southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. So here's a look 2, 3, 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Hopefully you're not on the roads, but if you do have to venture out, try not to. Gusts will be upwards of, say, 30, 35 miles per hour in the Rochester area, closer to about 35 miles per hour in the Mason City, Charles City area, possibly even upwards of nearing that 40 mark, a little bit further south of us towards Waterloo there. So the good news is although winds will continue to stay strong Sunday morning with gusts from about 25 to 35 miles per hour, by about lunchtime, we'll start to see winds kind of dying down a little bit. Still blustery with gusts about 20 to 25 miles per hour during the Sunday afternoon time frame. But notice how as we move past 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we are looking at pretty much little to no wind gusts on the way heading into Sunday night. So I think as we move throughout the day on Sunday, road conditions will continue to improve with that dying wind. Won't be putting that snow back on those roads as it blows across. So some good news there. So we'll continue to track the snow. We'll continue to track the wind here as we move into the afternoon. I haven't seen any fresh comments in a little bit. So I think I will kind of wrap up the stream here for now. Derek Overland will be in here probably in the next half hour, 45 minutes, and we'll kind of do a debrief, kind of transition from morning to afternoon, evening. I'll see if I can get any more updated snow totals and get a push on put out to social media some of those snowfall amounts that we've seen so far in the area. I'll try and get that out. Continue to keep you guys updated on road conditions here this afternoon into this evening. And we'll continue to go from there. So we've got you covered. We've got team coverage here this weekend as we continue to track this system. So certainly some shovelable, plowable snowfall on the way here when all is said and done. Snow blowers finally get used here this weekend. So I just hope everyone is staying safe out there, staying warm. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday weekend and have been able to spend that time with your loved ones. So I think that kind of wraps us up here for now. But again, continue to share those snowfall amounts with us here throughout today. If throughout social media, on National Weather Service, if you don't see your town listing a total, send it our way. That's how you can get those totals out there. So we appreciate our viewers for sharing and getting those snowfall reports to us. So I think that kind of does it for us here for now. Stay warm, stay safe, and just be careful if you do have to venture out. So have a good one, everybody. Derek will be doing a update here this evening. We'll be doing another stream. So if you have updated totals then, share them with him, and he'll kind of go over everything as we look ahead to tonight, heading into Sunday, and maybe even get you prepared for early next week. So have a good one, everybody. Stay warm, stay safe.